judge's face.
And you know, the irony there, Al, is he was close enough to the bar. He just reaches out and doesn't quite get his hand completely around the bar. That is a 5/10 deduction when you fall off the apparatus. And that, of course, is a skill that he was not planning on doing. The rule change necessitated it.
And of course, the bigger picture, it looks as if they'll be counting Gatson's 9.337, which of course Jason is much capable of a much higher score.
This is Blaine's third Olympics at the age of 30. This is the end of the road. So he will not go to the event final in high bar. He is out of the running for the all-around.
And after what he has endured this year, that's very disappointing.
Just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Back the very end of February, of course, he tore his bicep. And this is the release skill that he added. You can see he's right there. He just doesn't get his hand completely around the bar. Takes a pretty good fall as well. As you can see, he's definitely close enough, but doesn't get his dowel all the way around the bar.
And he gets hammered. 8.862. That means the 9.337 for Gatson has to be counted. And on high bar, that's a low score.
Well,
but remember, Team USA just has to finish top 8 here to qualify for the team final. And they should be able to do that no problem.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem at all. They are one of the best teams in the world. There's no question about that. But you don't want to start your Olympic Games like this. You want to. They started so strongly on parallel bars, and they wanted to have a perfect day. This is Morgan Hamm, one of the most improved gymnasts in the country on this event right here. He's really come such a long way. Gets a lot of his bonus points by that one-arm element. And a very nice laid-out reverse hex. He was unaffected by the rule change.
Great finish.
That's coming back.
Boy, did the team need that. And for those of you who have not seen this edition of Team USA in gymnastics before, you're not seeing things. Yes, they're twins, the first ever to represent the United States. Morgan is 20 minutes older than Paul. Paul's the reigning world champion, but they're both darn good.
And they both are always so unaffected. You put them in the biggest, most critical situation, and it looks like they've been doing it their whole life.
That's a big hit for Morgan Hamm, especially after what happened to Jason Gatson and Blaine Wilson. And now to the king of the room for now.
And he sure started his day off like that, I'll tell you, on parallel bars. I can't get over it, because he's great on P-bars, but the routine that he did was phenomenal. He's so good on this event, Al. He actually, after the World Championships, went home and made his routine a lot easier because it was just too risky. He does 3 release skills. Each one gets a little higher.
Look at that.
It was this event that he sealed his victory
Do you
in
remember
the all-around.
stuck landing? Oh!
All right, high bar. Yeah, baby.
So again, there is gold, silver, and bronze eventually for the team. Then there's all around gold, silver, and bronze. Then there's gold, silver, and bronze for each of the 6 individual events, and this should easily put Paul Hamm in the final for the high bar.
Well, watch these releases. He does 3 in a row. These are all reverse hex done in different positions.
And as you mentioned, Tim, they get higher and higher.
This is a little unusual for Paul. This is one of his best. He can count on this one. Usually it's like money in the bank. but he just doesn't get his chest up enough and has to slide those feet just the slightest bit forward.
It's almost have identical scores. 9.75 for Paul Hamm, solid finish for the United States. Meanwhile, during this rotation, looking around the room, you ask the question, what is going on with the one-time powerhouse Russia?
And they certainly were. They were the envy of just about every gymnastics program in the world. At the podium training, they looked almost embarrassed out on the floor, and Bondarenko looks perfect and then is right off the horse.
A score less than 9. Then in floor exercise, Russia was looking at counting an 8.95. We thought Alexei Nemov would surely come to the rescue, but after practicing on floor exercise, he pulled out, and his status for the rest of this rotation remains to be seen. The reigning all-around Olympic champion. Russia has to finish in the top 8 to qualify for the team finals. Right now, that feels like it's in jeopardy. The United States is moving on, having quote-unquote survived the high bar. This is the day that will set the tone for the rest of their Olympic Games.
So disappointments continue for Blaine Wilson. Despite an imperfect landing, a strong performance for Paul Hamm. We couldn't help but notice, along with you, though, as we watched, that there were a lot of empty seats in the gymnastics hall. We offer this by way of explanation, not excuse. First of all, the entire month of August is a holiday for many Athenians. Obviously, some will stay because of the Olympics and the interest generated there. On top of that, tomorrow is Assumption Day. That's a significant religious holiday in Greece. 96% of the populace here belongs to the Greek Orthodox Church. Additionally, while there's some interest in gymnastics, gymno does not rank as a marquee Olympic sport in Greece the way it might in other countries, especially including the United States. You may have read a bit in the past few weeks about lagging ticket sales, but in the 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the Games, the Greeks have stepped forward. This kind of is the way things happen in Greece, sort of a last-minute rush, and the ticket sales have picked up considerably in the days leading up to the Games, and they don't expect that many venues will have those sorts of gaping expanses of empty seats as these Games continue. At least we hope not, and we hope you'll be around when we come back.
Watching the United States, Blaine Wilson had fallen off the high bar, and there was some controversy within the team about how his routine and Jason Gadsden's routine had to be changed to conform to some new rules that were put in place here for the Olympic Games. Now, Blaine Wilson is not with his team on the podium for pommel horse. We saw some strange things after floor exercise. We heard him say some strange things, and apparently the impact off of this fall on high bar was a lot worse than we first thought. Blaine hit the mat hard, didn't show any initial reaction, but here's what we watched on floor exercise, Tim and LB. He looks fine here.
Yeah, actually, he does a very strong routine. He's got 2 of those tricky tumbling passes, and the first one is crazy after that fall because he's got to roll out right on the back of his head again. Another 3 rebounding skills in a row.
A lot of twisting going on in that tumbling pass.
Now, one of the reasons that I think we're marveling at what Blaine is going through right here is because of what we'll see after the routine is over, considering the flipping and the spinning and the impact.
Yeah, and now at this point in time, this routine is great. This is one of the best Forex routines we've seen from Blaine.
Whenever you have those multiple rebounding skills, those 5/10 tumbling passes, they are so risky, and for him to get through both of them, and this dismount, very tricky for Blaine. He does it as well as I've ever seen him do it.
Yeah, great set.
Still, Blaine looks fine, and then right there, a strange little wince, an odd look, and this.
You got him. Sit down. What? You did? Yeah, I get some phone salt. We'll get some water. Let's get those up.
He said he needed a minute and that he was dizzy and that his head felt like soup, I believe. Smelling salts may have done the trick, but right now he is not part of what the United States is going to do on pommel horse.